Mahatma Gandhi once said that I believe democracy is something that gives the weak the same chance as the strong. I'm pretty sure that a lot of our prisoners that are locked up in our U.S. prison systems right now would completely disagree with that statement, as powerful as it is. So today I want to help you to understand why solitary confinement should be abolished in all of our prison systems around the world. The violation of our basic human rights in prisons goes above and beyond anything that you can imagine. For centuries, it's always been the same. Our prisoners are left to stay in a cell for 22 to 24 hours a day, just probably getting only about 1 to 2 hours of fresh air every single day. They have little or no contact with anybody, apart from the guards that they interact with, and that's barely not enough to keep your human sanity. Solitary confinement has actually been described as the space has actually been described as smaller than a typical parking space, which is completely insane. So the mental and physical effects of solitary have also been a huge issue when it comes to why solitary confinement is just not the way to go about treating our prisoners. There have been many cases where prisoners have gone in completely normal, no sign of mental illnesses, and actually come out with about, I would say about 60% of our prisoners that are locked up in solitary confinement, once they're released, they come out having different symptoms of mental disorders such as anxiety, paranoia, hallucinations, bipolar, even so far as schizophrenia. Depressive disorder, manic depression, bipolar disorder, the percentage is so high that it's ridiculous. They actually said that that a lot of the prisoners that come out that are actually released from solitary confinement and are released back into the general population of the world, half of them actually do commit suicide because they don't have the proper help that they need. So instead of being in solitary confinement, they feel like they should actually try to rehabilitate them. And that's where I'll go on to talk about how solitary confinement has proven to have no source of rehabilitation whatsoever. They don't get to speak with counselors while they're in solitary confinement. They're not allowed to actually understand what they did and why they ended up there in the first place. When you're in solitary confinement, you're basically you're basically torturing. They're basically torturing you, and you're torturing yourself. Harry Harlow in the 1950s actually did an experiment with monkeys where he took them out of their general population and placed them all in isolation for about 10 days. Once they were put back into their natural habitat, it was either one of two things. They were either extremely aggressive or they were completely in isolation to themselves. And that is literally how humans are once they come out of solitary confinement. There really hasn't been one case where somebody has come out of solitary confinement as how they were in the beginning. There's been multiple protests about it. It's a very controversial issue which has yet to be eradicated. I feel very strongly about it because it does resonate with me, having served time in jail for a little while. I was never placed in solitary confinement, but I did see the effects that it had on the people that I was in there with. And I truly feel that that's something that they should completely remove. I feel like it's inhumane. There's no type of rehabilitation, and the mental disorders that people come out of it with, it doesn't make sense. So hopefully one day we can get to a point where we don't need solitary confinement. We will do right by people who are in prison. They are humans too.